Hey guys, it's Stephen here. How are you all doing? Are you all ready for some transfer goodness? Yes, another wonder kid is linked with Manchester City Football Club. So today I thought talk about this Spanish wonder kid called Ilaix Moriba. I like saying that's quite fun, isn't it? Apparently he's the new Pogba. Now you can roll your eyes on that as much as you want to, and I probably will do the same because there's always a new someone. But he's really highly rated. Manchester City, according to some reports, are in pole position to try and sign this guy right from under the noses of Barcelona. Now, obviously, as well, we've signed a couple of Barcelona players before in terms of Bernabé and Garcia, two very highly rated young prospects, and this could be the third feather in our cap, another player that we sweep away from them against their will, shall we put it. And it'd be a very good, very interesting signing at the very least. I mean, I'm only basing this off what I've seen on YouTube, but he's a good player. But before I get into the actual player himself, I'll talk a little bit about the background. Now, I happen to know that this actually has something in this story personally. Take that with a pinch of salt if you want to. I wouldn't blame you in the slightest. But the City are monitoring this player, as are a lot of clubs across Europe. And City were likely to sign him, but Barcelona have countered to his offer with a better offer. And Chelsea, according to latest rumours, are sniffing around him and have actually gazumped City and Barcelona with a better offer. But I'm sure there's still something left to run in this transfer saga. Understandably, it'd be hard to get excited by the signing of a potential 16-year-old, given the fact that most of these kids, well, they don't usually really get a look in. You've only got to look at Claudio Gomez to see that all this hype and this attention, well, it tends to be a little bit more kind of grounded than that. He's not really kind of made the breakthrough yet. He's had one substitute appearance. In general, he's been, you know, down with the EDS. He's obviously got a long way to go. There's nothing to say that Moriba won't be in the same situation if he does come in. But this guy is highly rated, very highly rated. Now, I know he started a couple of years ago in some youth tournaments, but he was bigger and taller than the rest of them. In general, it's easier at that age to show your physicality difference, but he's still looking very promising. Now, I've kind of done that thing where you go on YouTube and you look at highlights of him, and you can see why people are very excited by this guy. Now, for once, you can actually see why this Pogba comparison has actually been made. It doesn't seem quite as lazy as the usual ones. There are elements to his game that are quite similar, but he does seem to have some of that game to him. He's very quick in turn. He obviously has a trick of it. He seems to love spraying long diagonal passes, and he seems to play with that free spirit that Pogba seems to play with as well. There are obviously going to be similar comparisons to Yaya Toure, given the fact that he's from Barcelona, given the fact that's where City signed him, and given the fact that Pogba was also compared to Yaya Toure quite a lot. I don't see quite that same level of technical excellence that Yaya Toure has. I think Yaya's ball retention, his close control is at a level above Pogba, and that's not an insult to Pogba, who has fantastic technique, but Yaya was Silva-like in his way he moved and manipulated the ball. Moriba does look a little bit more raw and a bit more leggy in his game overall, but then again, having said that, you look at a young Yaya at Olympiacos, and he was very leggy and very gangly compared to the player that we saw towards the end of his career. Now, there's a long way to go with these kind of moves. If we sign him, if he does come in, he's a highly rated prospect. He's only just turned 16 last weekend, so I suspect he'll go straight into the under-18s team if we do sign him. If we do sign him at all, it'll probably be a summer thing as well. And I suspect we'll have to see how he develops. I do tend to think these things now with caution. You can't get really that carried away these days, given the fact that City and loads of other clubs across Europe are constantly signing really highly rated prospects, but getting them into the first team is a different story altogether. Having said that though, City do have a good rep with signing young Spanish players at the moment. Bernabé, Garcia, as I was saying, these players look the real deal potentially, and Guardiola has been using them. He has had them around the first team squad, and hopefully if Moriba does come in, he could be the latest to kind of fit that. The one thing he does have going for him, he is more physical than Claudio Gomez. He's a big, tall, strong lad, and that, as we know in the Premier League, it really does tend to help. It gives them that extra edge. It's not everything, but it definitely helps, and it helps a young player who usually physically overawed stand their own a little bit more. Now, obviously, he's got loads to prove to do if he does become a Manchester City player, but it's an interesting story nonetheless. I always do quite enjoy watching these young players come in and see how they can develop. But anyway, guys, what did you make of this potential transfer? Do you know much more than I do about him? Who really does, really, I guess? We can't all pretend to be experts on Spanish under-16s football. I do know my youth football, but not to that level. I'd be lying if I said I did. Anyway, guys, just a very quick video there talking about Moriba, because it's an interesting potential little signing. If it does come off, I'll be keeping a close eye on his development. Anyway, if you haven't already, go and check out my match reaction to the Huddersfield game and my 5 things learned videos. Don't forget, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, because why the hell not? I've been Stephen. Like this video if you want, and I'll see you in a bit.